Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Thursday, December 29th, and the day adds up and reduced to the number 2. Lately, for like the last month or so, it's adding up to the number 11, but today adds up and reduced to the number 2 vibration. And if today is your birthday, happy birthday. So today is Thursday. Thursday is associated with Jupiterian energy, and I am recording again on a Thursday, and so far so good. So when it comes to, say, the 29th energy, the day the 29th carries the number 2, which is nurturing, the number 9 energy, which is humanitarian. Both the number 2 and the 9 are energies that are supporting. Both are energies that don't like confrontation. Either energy wants to rock the boat. The number 2 is feminine, meaning it's introspective. It's nurturing. It gains energy from being introverted is what I wanted to say. The number 2 is introverted. The number 9 is masculine. It's an odd number. It's extroverted energy. So both the number 2 and the number 9 are both helpful humanitarian type of energies. And the number 2 and the number 9 adds up to the number 11. So the day does carry the number 11 vibration. And the number 11 vibration, what's coming to mind is that feeling of a person getting in their own way type of vibe. I get the feeling of a little bit of tense feeling when it comes to this energy of the day, and the day adding up and reducing to the number 2 vibration gives it a sensitive feel. And today Mercury went in retrograde phase. I created a video on that, so hopefully you already checked it out. So today is the beginning of Mercury retrograde energy, and Mercury is retrograding in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn energy talks about ambition, responsibility, legacy. I see why I feel this shaky feeling the minute I got to this day, because what comes to mind is this feeling as if you're running out of time. It's almost like, say, crunch time for a lot of people, or a lot of people feel like they need to hurry up so they can jump through a certain window. When I say jump through a certain window, meaning there's a certain time frame that certain things needs to get done by. So I feel a sense of urgency or a need to hurry up type of vibe is what I'm getting. So it's like I feel the tenseness from the 29 energy, which is the number 11 energy. And the number 11 energy, even though we don't reduce, you can get the number 2 from adding 2 ones together. But with the number 11 energy, the number 2 energy, this sensitive, emotional, introspective energy is suppressed, and we more operate with the action-oriented, the extroverted energy of the number 11. So it feels like emotions are suppressed. So from emotions feeling suppressed, to me, that's where I get this tense feeling from when it comes to the day. It's like it's not okay to dwell in certain emotions or feel certain feelings is what I'm getting when it comes to this energy. But Jupiter is the ruler of the day, so Jupiter will amplify whatever this day has to offer. And with the day also being a number 2 energy, I do get this, with the number 2 energy, I do get this feeling of, say, codependence to a certain extent, or even dependence. I think of whenever I'm doing something completely new and I feel overwhelmed and a bit exhausted. It's almost like I feel like my knees are shaking and I feel like I'm like buckling into place, paralyzing into place. I get that. So say if you have to take care of something today or deal with something, just remember that, everything is going to work out for your greatest good. Expect things to work out for your greatest good and do the best you can. And that's all you can do. The moon is in Aries, and with the moon in Aries, maybe that's that feeling that I'm feeling with the moon in Aries, because Aries energy is action oriented energy. Aries is the first sign. It's fire energy. Aries represents taking action and not putting too much thought into it. And sometimes that could be problematic, but other times it could be beneficial, because sometimes we tend to talk ourselves out of things or think ourselves out of things. But the moon is conjunct Jupiter. So there is that amplifying energy of Jupiter amplifying the moon in Aries. So this is where we could find ourselves being super impatient, or others are impatient. And with Mercury in retrograde, this is where a lot of people could make mistakes because they're impatient and not in the moment. So you just remember to be in the moment. Be clear about what it is that you want to achieve for the day, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and hold your thought and your intention in place so you're not influenced by anybody else's vibration. The moon is squared by the sun. So the sun is in Capricorn, and the sun is our identity, who we identify as, and that's squaring the energy of the moon. Squaring the moon meaning who we identify as is challenging or restricting our need to want to take action, or just wanting something to happen since yesterday. When I think of the moon in Aries conjunct Jupiter energy, I think of this optimistic energy wanting to just take action. I think of the child who doesn't know danger. But with the sun in Capricorn, I think of, say, older. So it feels like a fight between the young and the old. And to me, the young and the old could be, say, the mind and the heart. The mind being so conditioned to do things a certain way, and the heart wanting new experiences. But either way, there's that tug of war, push and pull when it comes to energies. But the moon conjunct Mercury, the moon conjunct Jupiter is positively aspecting Mercury conjunct Venus and Pluto in Capricorn. So the inner world, which is the moon, our inner world, our inner conversation, is positively speaking to the mind, which is Mercury. And Mercury conjunct Venus and Pluto in Capricorn talks about valuing change and having control and authority over one's life, and the importance of the psychology that's necessary in order to transform our lives. So Mercury, Venus, and Pluto conjunct each other in Capricorn talks about the value of change and transformation. And the moon is here for it in Aries conjunct Jupiter, because our inner world and our mind is on accord. So I like that the inner world and the mind is on the same accord. So that means what it is that we're thinking and what's motivating us when it comes to the conversations we're having within ourselves. I like that that's on the same accord. It's just that our identity, who we identify as, is what's restricting all that. And an example that I'll give of that is, say, for example, a person identifies with a certain profession. And from identifying with a certain profession, it's like this profession is your identity, it's your representative, is who you know yourself to be. But the mind, which is Mercury conjunct Venus and Pluto, is in a place of, like I said, valuing transformation and being one's own authority. So the mind is willing to rebel against the identity because the mind wants to be authoritative. It wants to be in control. And with it positively aspecting the moon, I think of the inner world as in a place of, okay, I need to do this. I need to make this happen. So this is the feeling of, say, the person going against the standards, going against the norm. This is, say, a person who is a professional and was educated to do things a certain way, and they're deciding to, say, start their own business, do their own thing, maybe start their own blog, start their own thing that kind of go against the norm, because they want freedom and they're willing to do whatever it takes to stand in their own truth. But at the same time, with Mercury conjunct Pluto and Venus, this person has been pretty much taking responsibility for where they're placing their attention. So I think of this video that I was watching recently on YouTube by this doctor that I love watching. I think his name is Dr. Berg, but I like that he's a doctor, but he's a holistic doctor. Like, he's always suggesting different natural herbs and remedies for everything. And he was saying something about how someone who is highly highly educated could sometimes not be able to, who's highly educated sometimes because, or not sometimes, he said, because I don't remember his exact words, but it was something to the fact that when a person's highly educated, they've been educated to look and see things a certain way. So to question anything out of how they've been conditioned to see things is going to be unlikely, where they won't be able to say critically think and think outside of the box, because for years they've been trained to think inside the box. And he was talking about, say, medicine and herbs, natural herbs and remedies for different things that could benefit us. But at the same time, when you go to certain hospitals and facilities, they do things a certain way that goes against the patient, and it doesn't quite make sense. But the people who are working there are doing the best they can and don't realize that the way they're doing things don't work, but they were conditioned to see things a certain way. So that's the only way they can see things. So to me, it's like identifying with that and then having to step out of the box and see things different. It could be so challenging. It could be so overwhelming and scary for some people. So the tarot associated with the day is the Devil card in the upright position. So when it comes to the Devil card coming up in the upright position, to me, the Devil card is associated with Capricorn energy, and it's associated with Capricorn energy because Capricorn energy, to me, you think of the 10th house, and the 10th house is associated with Capricorn energy. And when we're standing on the 10th house, which is like standing on the highest mountain, the highest hill, you feel everyone looking up at you. So because you feel everyone looking up at you, you feel a sense of responsibility to conduct yourself a certain way, to have certain things, and to live your life a certain way. And with the Devil card, this is where we can tie ourselves to systems intentionally in order to have certain things. So this is where we betray ourselves, go against ourselves. When you look at the card, the people have chains around their neck, but their hands are free. So they're choosing to be in a compromising situation. This card also deals with addictions and just being addicted or obsessing over something that pretty much goes against you and everything that goes against your soul, goes against you, goes against, say, the experience that you're meant to have. And an example of that would be the person who did the right thing, or I should say did what we were taught to do, went to college, got super educated, got their doctorates, and now they're stuck with like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And at the same time, this person wants a really nice car and they want a really nice home. They want to live that life that they work so hard for. But in order to live that life that they were told, or the life that was presented, pretty much they have to chain themselves to the devil, meaning you have the beautiful home, you have the nice car, but you never get to enjoy it because you're always at work. You're never home. So always being at work, it takes you away from the things that you really want to do. It's like this is where a person turns into a robot, turns into a slave. So when you look at the chains around these people's neck, they're choosing to be a slave to the devil. So when it comes to this energy, to me, this is where we choose to tie ourselves to things just because of the image of it, just because of the superficial aspect of it. And when it comes to, say, Capricorn energy can reflect a lot of that because of the sense of responsibility that Capricorn energy causes us to feel like everybody is looking at us, and it is important for us to conduct ourselves a certain way or have certain things. And the spirit energy that is associated with the day is the black egg. And when I look at the black egg, I think of potential and possibility. So with the Devil card first coming out, representing the energy of the day, and the Devil card to me talks about, say, signing a contract or tying ourselves to something that isn't the best thing for us. And then the black egg comes out. The black egg talks about potential and possibility. But with the black associated with it, I think of, say, spirituality. I think of the dark and how manifestation starts in the dark. It starts in the dark of our mind as far as a thought. And then us expecting, believing in that thought, it manifests into something tangible. I think of the seed in the soil. and being in the dark before everything takes place. So with the egg, I think of the black egg, I think of potential and possibility when it comes to, say, some goal or desire or idea that you have. So when it comes to, say, these energies within the day, when I overall look at the energies in the day, I just think of the importance of, like I've been saying, within this season, redefining success for yourself. Ask yourself, what is your definition of success? Because for me, I had to realize that freedom was way more important than everything else. Like when I walked away from one career path to move into another, I took a huge cut, and I had to, what is it called? Budget myself for a little while until things built up back, and save and prepare for it to begin with. But I was willing to take a cut. I was willing to miss out on certain things for a while in order to have peace of mind, in order to be happy. So when it comes to the energies in this day, certain things will be pulling on your strings, on your emotional strings. And with Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, you're going to be reflecting on the different things that you're committing yourself to and responsibilities that you're taking on. And this energy will help you to be honest and ask yourself, is this responsibility necessary? And will it make me happy, or will it negatively affect my health because of the stress that it will bring, the stress of having to keep up with this thing, keep up with this image, keep up with this lifestyle, whatever it may be. But to me, the black egg talks about the potential and the possibility. And with the devil card coming up in the upright position, some of us could sign ourselves to something that might be a bit overwhelming or stressful for the next months or year. Or what I like about, say, energy, premonition, dream manifestation, we get insight and we have the ability to change or transform a situation for the better. But also when I think of the devil energy and I think of the day associated with the number, the day, all the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 2 vibration, and the day having to do with the number 29, which brings the number 11, I think of escapism and how a person could feel overwhelmed and escape in whatever, and however or whatever escape means. And the feeling or need to escape is when we feel powerless in the moment. And if you feel powerless within the moment, it's a great opportunity to pull your journal out and write it out, talk it out, get to the bottom of it. Because once we become aware of something and we allow ourselves to feel what it is that we are feeling and then write it out on paper, sometimes that's all it takes to release that thing. And then the need for escape isn't even necessary, because we're no longer wanting to escape the moment, because we sat with whatever it is and allow ourselves to see it. It's like a child that needs our attention. And the more we ignore the child, the more the child acts up. So I'm getting the feeling of sitting with something and seeing it for what it is, opposed to fighting and running from it, which will create challenges. You guys, such a pleasure as usual. If you'd like to book a natal chart or tarot card reading, the link is in the description box below. If you would like to check out the exclusive content on Patreon or support this channel by becoming a member on Patreon, that link is in the description box below. If you're still here with me, I'd love to hear about it. Please let me know by dropping me an orange heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.